Would it be valuable to you if your brand design was absolutely head turning? Like, whoa, think about it. What would it be like if your brand design could amplify your expertise and your personality, helping you attract your dream clients and build a community of long term clients that are ready to buy from you? Hello, does this sound awesome? So listen up as we dive into the world of premium branding as we are joined by Jasmin Plouffe. Did I get that right? Plouffe?
That you are spot on.
Yes, 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 yes. Yay! Well, I am awesome, Angie Ingstrom, because I'm honoring the awesomeness in all of you.
And I'm Gita Utkan, and I just want to welcome you once again, Jasmine. We are so excited to have you here today. So thank you for joining us and sharing your goal with our audience. So big welcome.
Thank you, ladies. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Now I know some of you might not know Jasmine, so I'm going to do a short bio. So Jasmine is a brand designer with more than 15 years of graphic design experience. And she helps entrepreneurs attract their dream customers with head-turning branding design that amplify their expertise and personality. Because as Jasmine likes to put it, when you're totally in love with your brand, your dream clients will be too. I love that. That is so powerful.
Thank
Welcome
you.
once again.
It's so true, too. So I'm excited. So, welcome to Momentum Maker Podcast. And so, tell us, first of all, just a real quick, like your elevator pitch, like 10 seconds. Who do you serve? What's the result?
Yeah. So, hi, I'm Jasmine, and I help entrepreneurs attract their dream customers with head turning branding design. I primarily work with service providers and brands who have who started their business. They've have raving reviews with their offers and like to take themselves to the next level. It's like, what is that next step for me? And so usually it's for them to up level the visuals for their business. So whether that's logo, website, any kind of other visual marketing that you need to really promote your business and get it out there.
Wonderful.
Hmm.
Okay. So, I'm sure there's a story behind this. Like, how did you get started in this? Like, that's pretty unique. I love it.
Thank you. So I guess if we go back to like 2018, I would not like I didn't have the guts to quit my full-time job, right? I think like a lot of people don't have the like I was there for 10 years and I wouldn't consider myself like what's the word? What's the opposite of like gutsy? Like I'm very I put myself out there, right? I've traveled the world, I've moved to a new state, like not knowing anybody to go to school. Like I'm always if there's I have my eye on the prize, I'm going for it. And I didn't have the guts to quit because when I graduated, it was 2008 and that was during the recession. So like I've heard my parents were like, you're lucky to have a job, just stick through it. Like you got this. And I'm like, okay. My heart wasn't in it, right? Like I was designing fashion accessories that I could see on the shelves of Walmart and Target. So it was like really exciting to see the products I designed in store, but there was always something missing and I couldn't figure it out. And so I didn't want to quit because I didn't want to let my team down. I didn't want to disappoint my parents. And I also didn't want to be known for as a quitter. So by luck, it was a blessing in disguise. I got laid off in 2018. And this was my chance to put on my big girl panties, right? I was able to like decide what I was going to do. So my decisions were get another full-time job or try out freelancing and see what that was like. So I was like, let's go freelance. Let's see what this is all about. And looking back, I would say that was probably like the easiest decision of this whole entrepreneurial journey, right? Because it's like, yeah, I'm going to start my own business. And but then all the thoughts, the inner critic comes crawling in and it's like, where are you going to find clients? Is this actually going to work out? Should you go back to a full-time job? And I think the smartest thing I did when those thoughts would come through would be surrounding myself with other passionate female entrepreneurs, right? I went to networking events, I went to meetups, coffee dates, just to learn their stories. And it was their resiliency that inspired me to keep going because it's like, everyone faces challenges. You really aren't alone in entrepreneurship because it's like there's always some similarity, whether it might not be the exact same experience or situation you're in, but there's always somebody to be like, no, you got this, keep going. Like, this is my kind of similar share, and it encourages you to keep going. So that's really why I started my business, is to help other entrepreneurs like um get to that next chapter of their life, right? Help them see that they are capable, because I want to pay forward all the advice and guidance I got when I started my business to help others succeed themselves.
I love it. Pay
Mm.
it forward.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and I really love this. The way you sort of took that um, adversity, you might call it, like getting laid off, and just turned it into an opportunity. I love that.
Thank you.
Amazing.
I feel like whenever I talk about it, it really resonates with people because it's like I feel like there's a lot of shame when it comes to getting laid off, right? Like it's like,
Mm,
oh, was I not good enough? Did what happened? It was always based on me. But like even looking at it now too, like as a business owner, like it's never about the person, right? It's not the character of the person
mm,
that they're letting you go. It's either like they see potential in you, and it's like mama bird trying to let your like the wings fly for the baby bird, but or it's like they're facing their own challenges in their business, and it's nothing really ever personal. So I feel like it gives that sense of inspiration and encouragement for others to go forward when I do share that story.
mm.
I
Yeah,
love that. It's one of my in the back of my mind always. It's not personal. I love that.
yeah.
Just always remember, it's not personal.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, Geety.
Yeah. So I was just gonna dive a little more into your work. Okay, so you turned freelance when you got laid off, and somehow it evolved into the business you have today. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So, I wish I was one of those stories that were like, oh, in my year one, I was like already making my full-time salary, but I am actually not that. It was a lot of trial and error for me when I first started freelancing, right? The positions that I was applying for, they didn't see fashion, like because I was designing socks, rain boots, scarves, and I was doing both the product and the packaging for it. And I was having trouble showing how it was transferable into a new role, right? And I was like, okay, like I know the thought process. Like I know how to get designs that sell. I know how to work with your client, like understand and troubleshoot like what your customer wants in order for the product to work. But apparently I wasn't communicating that greatly. But so I just took whatever jobs I could get, right? So I was working for nonprofits, for government legislatures. I was designed a chicken dinner cookbook for Delish. And with that, like I realized I was able to figure out what I liked and what I didn't like. That was another thing too when I started freelancing, because I had only one job. I feel like everyone's shocked when I say I was at one company for 10 years, because that's like like not a thing anymore. But like when I only knew that, this was my time to explore. So I tested all that out, like figured out which realm I wanted to stay in, which was brand development. So I really love using my client stories to influence my design decisions, right? So it's like after a conversation, I'm able to take pieces of their story and their background and how they want to be seen, like what that brand vibe is, and incorporate it into the decisions of their logo, of their website, of their whole visual identity, because that helps them feel more connected to their brand. It makes everything feel more intentional versus me just being like, oh, just go with it. I do this because it feels right, right? No, like there is actually sufficient evidence and data behind the decisions we make, so it feels like it's part of you, that you can grow with it, that you want to be committed to it for the end of time. So I don't actually remember if I answered your question or not.
So today, how do you work with your clients? Do you have a specific process, some steps you go through, or is it more individualized, or
So
how does
we
it work?
Yeah, so with my one-on-one clients, right? It's completely full service brand design. I hop on a conversation with my clients. And this is unlike other brand designers because most brand designers use a brand questionnaire to really get understand who their customer is and or who their client is and really understand them and really get to know them that way. Um, I believe the brand questionnaire really is tailored to um, the brand designer versus the client, right? Because it's like answering the questions that a brand designer needs to make something. Where I like to prioritize, and I'm not saying brand questionnaires don't work. Like I know plenty of brand designers who actually have very successful businesses and their clients love their work. It's just it didn't feel like a good fit for me. So instead, I prioritize a conversation. So it's about 2 hours with my clients, and we literally just talk, kind of like how we are right now. I like to make it feel like we're uh have it at brunch with your like your college best friend that you haven't seen in forever, right? We just kind of relax and you chit chat, catch up, and really one question can lead to one story, which leads to this story that you haven't thought about in over 10 years, right? So there's this like it's like an exploration, like, I don't know, when I travel, I have, like, that set destination, and maybe I have a key, touristy things that I want to look at, but also, like, I just kind of explore and just kind of wander, and that's what I feel like my conversations with my clients are, just an expo like, we wander around and really figure out who you are as a person, like, what that is as, like, down to your core, because if you even look at, stories from, like, your past, like, when you were a child to now, like, there's some sort of connection. There's a through line
Mm.
through it that every like, you probably won't see it, like, because you're experiencing it yourself, but like when somebody else, like a third person comes in or a second person, another pair of eyes, it's like clearly you can be like, oh, this is connected to this and I can see how this shows up now. And so like I love that. And then when I show that to my clients and connect all the dots, they light up even more. So like with the process of just kind of starting with words and conversation and then using that to influence the design and kind of make you feel connected and create that bond that you want with your brand, and then the visuals feel like they just kind of flow naturally.
Mm. So you sort of you build on their own foundation by making these connections. Amazing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So in terms of a process, like, is there kind of like 3 or 4, like, solid steps that you take people through it when you're having these conversations? Like, in your mind, do you have kinda like a framework you're going through?
Yeah, so I would say the framework would begin like, okay, like what's your business? Like what are you doing? Key question there is like how do you want to be seen? Like so if you were to describe your business as a person, right? Like if I was to describe my best friend, I'd say she's fun, caring, adventurous. Like what are those three words for your business, right? And my clients will say what those 3 words are, but when you really look at those 3 words are very generic. So that's why from there, I really ask them why, and I try to ask them why at least 5 times, which feels like you're pulling teeth, but, it really gets down to what is important to them, what they believe in, right? And why it's important for them to show up, as that. The second, phase, I guess, of the brand strategy call would be, who's your ideal client, right? And it's more than just getting that like basic demographic out. It's really understanding what challenges are they facing and what's that motivating factor that's going to get them to buy. What's that motivating factor that's going to get them to say yes to your services or your offer. Um a key question I like to ask there is like, what brands is your ideal client already attracted to, right? And that's a key question too, because you really only have 2/10 of a second to make a first impression with your business to a new dream customer or dream client. And so asking that question, you're able to figure out what kind of brands they're already associated with, right? Because like when you it's like kind of like the law of attraction, like attracts like. So if your visuals Well, say your dream customer loves the fine dining experience. They love the linen tablecloths, the atmosphere, everything feels very calming, very luxurious, but the visuals of your business look like a fast food restaurant in the middle of the mall with the fluorescent lights. The question you want to ask yourself is, will my dream customer stop and look at my menu, or are they going to walk right by? And so you want to be able to be on their level to be like, oh, let me get their interest, like, let me set that intrigue, and then it's like the copy and the words on your website or any of your marketing materials is what really keeps them there wanting to learn more. So it's like a twofold. And then after that, I learn more about their personal story, what their background is, why they dedicated and committed to their business. Like, what's that burning desire in the deep bottoms of their belly that they're going to be like, oh, I want to continue doing this no matter what. Like, because obviously there's going to be like rough times. There's going to be times where you're like, I just want to sit in bed and watch TV all day, or like throw in the towel. But it's like understanding what that why is for them, and like reminding them that they did it once and that they can do it again. So I feel like those would be like the three key buckets for them, for my process when speaking to my clients.
Awesome.
Hmm.
And just really succinctly, the three buckets again were,
Yeah. So how they want to be seen, who
okay,
their ideal client is, and then what their brand story is.
gotcha.
Hmm.
Okay,
Mhm.
wonderful. Excellent. Our listeners love stories. So tell us some of your favorite stories of, client success stories.
Yeah. With client success stories, let me think. Oh, so I had a client once, and she was pit like it was the next iteration of her business, right? So she had the agency model and she wanted to work more, excuse me, she was pivoting her business model a little bit to work in more kind of group settings so she could help more entrepreneurs hit the 250K mark, because for females there's only like I think 1 or 2% that actually get there. So that was her goal, and so she wanted this distinct mark in her business where it's like, oh, that was old my business, this is new my business, right? And so she's worked with other brand designers before, other website developers before, and for her, so she's like, this isn't my first time at the rodeo. I know what happens, and she was blown away by all the pre-work, right? That brand foundation, the one that I just like walked you through it. She was completely blown away by like why we had to do that and how it would actually help us achieve our goal. Because with the brand foundation, like it sets you up for success. So like when you're questioning like why did you choose this color, or why did you choose this? Like I have reference now to be like, well, you mentioned this in your story. And so it just made her feel like her brand was more purposeful. She had more soul and collaboration to it. And like she mentioned, like past designers would be like, oh, just choose what you like, and I'll just build something similar. And she's like, I would have never chose what you like any kind of inspiration or reference material to get you where the brand that I have now. And a big thing for her too was like she didn't want it to feel, I don't know, so say like if you went clubbing in your day, I don't club anymore or go like to parties or dancing like that, but say like you're in like New York City and you're wearing your favorite, like the hottest dress that came out of the runway, you're at the hottest club, but you still feel uncomfortable, right? That was like a big thing for her. She did not want that. And because we were able to use her brand foundation in order to design everything, like it feels like the perfect custom made outfit for her, right? She can wear it. She doesn't feel uncomfortable. Like she now embodies her visuals and her business and her brand like she should. Like it really is a true reflection of her, which like makes me super proud, because it's like people do notice that now. And like we customized icons for her business, like her photography, we were able to give better direction to her photographer, and people see that, like everyone's complimenting her about how much her business stands out. And like yes, she has that sense of like, oh, I'm a confident CEO now. But what I also love too is because we designed a design system, right? I was able to create templates for her based off of all these all the visuals we created, that I reduced her time spent on updating her marketing by 94%. What used to take her like 2 whole business days now takes her 1 hour, right? To like update and get it out and start marketing and promoting her business. So like there's the emotional, right? The intangible, I feel confident, I want to show myself, I want to stand out. But then there's also the tangible where you're actually making progress in your business and not having to be like, okay, what do I do next?
I love this.
Amazing.
I've
Yeah.
got one more question for you in the process.
Mhm.
Going back to that. At what stage would you recommend that a business actually get their branding down?
I get this question all the time. And as a new entrepreneur, right, it's so exciting to like you were like, I want a logo, I want a website because it makes you feel official. It makes you feel like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm like really putting myself out there. But I say hold off, right? Until you have a clients readily, like always constantly going. So it's like because it investing in custom branding is truly an investment. It's a large investment for many companies, but that's because I want you to have a solid business where you're making money so it doesn't feel like, oh my God, like I'm regretting this decision. So I would say if you are a brand new entrepreneur, hold off on investing in branding design. What I would recommend is investing in like some sort of brand foundation, right? So understanding what your vision is, what your definition of success is, who your ideal client is, like your brand story, and just start telling people, start promoting your business, try and getting it out there, have people work with you, learn, iterate, repeat, like see what worked, what didn't work, and what you want to move forward with, right? And then once you feel like you've gotten that solid foundation, you have steady streams of income, then invest in branding, in the like branding designs, the visuals, the custom, right? Yes, there's templates that can help you to achieve that earlier. And there's way to just kind of have it for now, but like don't make the huge investment of custom branding right at the beginning of your business.
I'm glad I
Mm,
asked.
great
Yes.
advice. Yeah. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing.
of course.
Yeah.
All right, Judy, you're up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, so when you're talking to people and they end up being, I don't know, in doubt or end up not investing in working with you, what are some of the main reasons? What's holding them back?
I would say it really ends up coming down to cost, right? Because
Mm,
I've received the compliment, well, I would say the feedback. I'm comprehensive, right? And I've received it in being like, "Oh, you are so comprehensive. I cannot have the brand I want without having this, or I'm too comprehensive for this stage of my business," right? And so it goes both ways, and it really depends on where you are at your business, how much money you're making, right? And then, like, what are your ultimate goals, right? Because if it's not to expand, like, if you only wanna be just a solopreneur, there's ways to get there without having to, like, break the bank, right? There's ways to, um have exactly what you need, still have people coming in and feel good about it. Like it also like whatever your brand vision will dictate like what we need to do. So I really feel like if if it comes down to what we talked about was like where you are in your business, like and like the value you put on design, because I've met some people who are like it's just a logo, I can get this anywhere. Then obviously you're not my dream customer and you don't see the value of what branding can help you in the long-term growth. So it's like kind of seeing what's important to you and then going from there.
mm, makes sense.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
because branding is, gosh, it's such a, to me, it's like this big wide, there's a lot going on
Yeah,
with
it's
branding.
huge.
There's a
Yeah,
lot
Really
yeah.
going on
is.
with branding.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I like when I first started back in business years ago, that wasn't even on the radar. I mean, I wasn't even thinking that. Like you just, you just need to start talking to people and sell stuff. Like and
Yeah.
at least that's what I was doing. And but now after I've studied branding a little bit, I mean, it's fascinating. The colors, the textures, the items, the clothing, the makeup, like every
Mhm.
little thing adds into that brand picture.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
making it recognizable. Yeah.
and it's a but again, like you said, you don't have, when you're brand new, you don't have to start with that. Like that's something to work toward. Um, and would you say sooner than later if possible? Would that, would you agree with that?
Um, I would say, because like branding, right, is the umbrella term, right? And under that is like your visions, your messaging, and only a fraction of that is the visuals. So like have like if you need something to get yourself outside, like to put yourself out there are options on Fiverr, on Etsy, right? Like you can get like a logo done quickly, no problem, and just use that to start, right? Use that to get yourself out there. And like once you feel like you're ready to take it up a notch, then invest, right? Don't just invest at the beginning when you don't have your offer suite ready or you don't really know what you're going to like it's not proven. There's no market validation, right? Like people aren't raving about your offers yet. Like why waste the money, right? I want
Yeah.
you to be successful and I don't want you to regret any like have buyer's remorse. So it's like, how can you set yourself up for success? And that is really by understanding your business first, understanding what that foundation is for you. So then, like, if you think of it as a house, like, you need that solid cement foundation for you to keep growing a bigger and bigger house. And without that, like, it's going to topple down. So it's like invest in like brand strategy or brand foundations first. And then when you're ready, invest in the visuals.
Mm.
I'm glad I asked.
Yeah, I
That's
like
a
that.
great
S-
distinction. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sort of taking it in levels. Yeah.
Mhm. Exactly.
Mm.
I want
Mm.
I just have to share this because this is the visual I get when I think of branding. Harley Davidson. Like when you see one of their commercials, like you feel the brand,
Mhm.
like you feel it. Any of the big companies that have invested a lot in branding, you feel it. Like they are resonating with
Mm.
a very specific vibe on all levels. And I know you covered it a little bit, but like the values, like really get your values in your marketing, your branding. That's yeah, you just feel it when it's done well. So
Exactly. Like when
Yeah.
you have those values, your core values, your brand values, that's what people are going to resonate with, right? That's what's going to attract the loyal customers who are going to not only buy from you, but market for you, right? Because that's the idea, like not for you to constantly putting energy out to be like, oh, I need to find new customers. Your current customers should want to refer you, right? Because you've done such a great job. And so having that like creating that personality behind your brand and then having that perception and that reputation basically to say I am an expert in my field and this is how I do it and I actually am also having fun while doing it. That's I think the key too to standing out. It's not just being like super professional or knowing everything about everything in your industry. It's being able to show when like your real you, right? Don't just hide it for when someone becomes a customer or a client. Show them before. And that was something I struggled with. I always thought I had to be like super professional, super like buttoned up, always wear a blazer because that was what I felt like an entrepreneur was supposed to be. And I honestly hate wearing blazers. I feel like they're like they feel like what's that? The restraining jackets. Like I can't wear them.
Mm.
They like I feel it feels too stuffy for me. And so one thing I had to work on fun in my business and showing and being open to showing people that I was having fun outside of my life in my business. And like I literally was like twirling and dancing on camera just like to be like, oh, okay, as like my little breakthrough of like how do I get put myself out there more. And people resonate with that, right? Because nobody just wants to be like nobody wants to work with somebody that's just going to speak at them instead of to them, right? They want to have that conversation, they want to have that relationship. And that's like I feel like when you show both sides, like both your professional and your personality and your fun side, that it's like people are like, "Ooh, like let me learn more. Like I can see this relationship growing into something more and I would be open to referring this person out then."
Mm. Yeah, it's sort of like there's a person behind what you say, the office or the job title or whatever.
Mhm.
There's a real person in there. Yeah, yeah,
And I
makes
love
sense.
that there's some people that could discover their own brand themselves, but to come alongside with someone that knows branding, how valuable that is to be able to pull that out of someone. Because very
Mm.
often most people can't see their own brilliance. That's part of my
Mhm.
tagline is because I honor the awesomeness in you. You may not even see your awesomeness, but it's there. I can help you pull that out. Just like Jasmin, that's what Jasmin does. She pulls it out and amplifies it in your branding. Uh,
Mhm.
Mm.
so that people can resonate. The right audience is resonating with your brand. So thank you, Jasmin, for this
You're
conversation and
welcome.
for
Of
existing in the
course.
world with your business and
Thank
helping all
you.
these wonderful people. Any last thoughts as we wrap this up? That anything else you want to make sure it's recorded and shared with our listeners today?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but like I feel like try, right? Like at least like be gutsy, be bold, like whatever that is for you, just do it. Like it may seem super scary to like start your business or make an investment, but, like, you won't know until you actually try it once. It doesn't have to be, like, a huge thing, but, like, taking that scary step is, like, getting you a step closer to your dream vision, whatever that is for you. So it's like, just try it. Even if it feels uncomfortable or you're like, "What are people gonna think?" Like, it doesn't hurt to try because if you don't like it afterwards, you can be like, "Oh, I tried it, and now I can move on and go after that other scary thing." So I just feel like why not?
I love that. Love that. So,
Thanks.
listeners, momentum
Yeah.
makers out there listening, if you are resonating today with what Jasmin is sharing, Jasmin, tell us how listeners could connect with you further.
Yeah, so to connect with me, I answer my DMs, whether that's in Instagram or LinkedIn, or you can email me. It'll probably be in the show notes, but it's hello@jasminplouffe.com. And if you are like, okay, I want to really build out that brand foundation that I was talking about, really understand who you are at your core and how you can amplify your own expertise and personality through your business. I actually am launching a course. It's called Launching Brand Stardom. And this literally walks you through the steps that I spoke about too in this podcast episode where I help you step into your CEO role, establish a brand vibe that you're excited to share about, and you hit your high profit goals. And you're saving thousands of dollars because it's not being like anything custom. I give you all the templates, the visuals that you need to get your business started, moving forward, really um getting yourself out there and like you feel like, "Oh my god, like I can like puff out my chest, I can stand up taller," because it's like you feel confident talking about your business and no matter what the capacity is.
That's wonderful.
Amazing. Yeah, I would just encourage all of you to go and look at I know Jasmine, you have a freebie
Yeah, I
you're
do.
sharing.
Yeah, I do have a freebie. I will drop you'll have the link for that too, and it's called the Brand Vibe Formula, and that is the the questions to ask yourself on how to create that add that human touch to your business. So it's like going through what those three words would be to describe your business and then going into it and saying why. And then really creating that bond and connection with your business.
Mhm. And we'll of course be putting a link to this in into the show notes so you can find it. Mhm. So once again, thank you for joining us, Jasmine. It's been such a pleasure. It's been really fascinating to hear you talk about branding. I loved it. So let's wrap it up. I'm Kira Adkan.
And I'm Awesome Angie. And thank you for listening to Momentum Maker podcast. So keep your momentum, keep moving forward. And if you happen to be a course creator or a coach and you're spending too much time selling one-on-one and you are ready to condense time and start selling one-to-many, I would encourage you to open up a tab on your browser and go to elitevirtualstages.com/blueprint and learn how Geety and I work to help amplify your expertise and turn it into a 6 and even 7-figure day using live transformational virtual masterclasses. So thank you, Jasmine, for joining us. Thank you for listening, everyone. Keep your momentum.
Thank you.